Hello Aries, welcome to your very late July reading, tarot reading. So I just got back from the Gay Pride Parade here in London. It was really pretty chaotic, but a lot of fun, so much fun. And I figured I would get to your reading now as it was originally scheduled in for this morning. Yours and Scorpio's, the last two. So I hope that everyone had a good June, that you're enjoying the summer. Ooh. You coming out of some sort of business relationship? Oh. Knight of Wands. Oh, no. Oh, Aries, sometimes I wish that you guys can tell me your story. Then it would be less of a guessing game. So the initial feeling that I got when I was meditating on your cards earlier before shuffling and before recording was that you're going into something headstrong, but also really, really blindly about it. You're aware that you're doing this though. So it can be the equivalent of taking that grand leap of faith, or even having a blind date of sorts where you're agreeing to the blind date. So clearly you know you won't know what the person looks like or much about the person at all before you meet them, yet you're still agreeing to this arrangement. That's just an example. Essentially, the idea that I got was really going for something quickly and fast, so with intent, but not with as much knowledge as you're generally used to. You're getting some very, very big cards here. So there's Judgment. We have the High Priestess, your intuition, your primal instinct, and we have the Chariot here. Successes in moving forward and or overcoming fears and obstacles, making it big down the line, willing to work hard, doing things your way as well, doing things your way, but that might not tally up with the conventional manner of doing things. So you make sure to be doing things your way in a very unique manner, and making it big, moving forward with this Chariot card here. So this is quite interesting. And I feel as though this Judgment card is basically saying that some sort of karmic situation is over now. Which can be pertaining to, wow, you guys, these are massive cards. What do I do with this? I think anyway that this karmic lesson is some sort of a karmic ending that involves this Ten of Swords and this Three of Pentacles here, that when I first looked at, figured that you're coming out of a business relationship of sorts, or a contractual relationship. So yeah, contractual relationship can also be karmic. Having agreed to endeavor through some circumstances with a person, that would lead to a lot of lessons for you. In this case, I can't tell you what kind of grand lesson you were expected to learn or achieve from this situation here, but I can say that with the Ten of Swords, it's not going any further. With the Knight of Wands and the Judgment appearing next to these two cards, to me it feels as though the time has come for you to leave this situation if it's still continuing, because it's run its course. You may be in the middle of talks right now with this partner, and the talks might be going in that direction of terminating the agreement between the two of you, or between both of your firms. Again, it will be different for different people. But the second part of this spread of cards here shows me this beautiful High Priestess and the Chariot card, which makes me excited for you on your behalf, because it tells me that you are getting out of a pretty uncomfortable situation here, moving into one with a bit more power. There's not a lot of stability that can be said with this Knight of Wands here. This I feel is like a message coming your way. You are being pushed out of this arrangement here, and then coming into your own strength and your own power. This was less in your control, and again, something that was agreed upon possibly in another lifetime. I hear music. I'm just wondering where it's coming from. Sorry about that, guys. So coming out of a situation that was agreed upon from another lifetime even, and now moving into your own decision-making power here, and trusting your gut instinct with regards to how to move on, and really going for it. So again, going for things, not procrastinating any longer, since we've reached mid-2017. So if there are certain goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year which you still haven't really been able to achieve, now's the time when you say, okay, enough of that procrastination. I'm actually going to really move forward with everything that I've got. Suddenly this Knight of Wands, the energy that this Knight of Wands brings into your reading gets transformed into a more extreme degree with this Chariot card, where you really have a direction in mind, and you've come up with a very solid strategy and plan as to how you're going to execute your route, because the Chariot really does talk about making several moves ahead, anticipating hardships that can come along the way as well. So the road is not necessarily going to be a very smooth one with the Chariot, but the thing is that you are at this stage here, definitely because you would have learned a lot of valuable lessons coming out of your previous situation here. You are equipped with these lessons and tools to actually launch out further in your life more formidably, with a lot more abundance. This not like, but then you need to set the kind of abundance that you want your way. So when you're putting that intention out there, make sure that you're very specific when you wish to gain any kind of abundance in your life. Say, I want the abundance of love, the abundance of wealth, the abundance of good health, whatever it is. You can achieve it with the Chariot. But this happens for a good cause, and it is one that is linked with a desire that you have, I feel, to grow something for yourself, as I'm really drawn to the pomegranates that are around the High Priestess here, you see? And here I think of bearing fruit. There is this feeling of being very genuine, like truly genuine and true to yourself, that I really like. And I feel like that's what prompts this part of your reading, which is a bit confusing, I must admit, because we have some pretty intense, shall I say? I wanted to say like earth-shattering energy, but I feel like that's too strong of an adjective, earth-shattering. We have the combination of this Tower card, pure clarity, with this Ace of Swords here. And that could be over this Three of Swords, pure clarity over a heartbreak circumstance here, or a three-party relationship where two people have decided to vacate the situation, or you simply realize that you can, you both realize that you might not be good for one another. But one stays behind because, again, if it is a third party, if it does involve three people, I mean, because it doesn't have to. But again, I get that feeling. It's strange. So today I'm drawn to specific parts of the cards. In this case today with the Tower, I'm really drawn to the top, the first window up top here, this third window where there are flames and fire coming out of all three windows. But I'm drawn to this top balcony one because I feel like there's a third person who's trapped here while two others jump to save their lives. Or they're just calling it quits. Just seeing if there are any other cards that will come out, even though I kind of felt like your reading ended here. It's kind of gone by quick, huh, Aries? Well, I guess it kind of also just makes up for waiting all this time. You don't have to go through a really long reading. But yeah, so a lot of really strong, important events are happening in July for you. It's a big time, somewhat scary as well, because there's so much going on that can only really be explained through your lens properly, because I feel like it's all a result of an accumulation of your experiences. Well, naturally, everything is based on an accumulation of all of our experiences, but I feel, how do I explain this? This reading is more high level, top level. It's not one that's based on pure principles that I feel can really apply to everyone, but more like, for example, I cannot tell you what sort of fruit you want to bear when I say that with this High Priestess, it's just a good feeling with regards to truly accomplishing a deeply personal project or desire. So there is this deeply personal element there, and it's that I can't really put my finger on. So that it's things like that I can't really say, but all I know is that something that's been a long time coming is on its way with this combination here. What that is, I don't know. Again, with this idea of leaving behind a business relationship or a contracted relationship or a relationship that was agreed upon in a previous life, a karmic relationship, so it can be masked in different ways. Leaving that behind because it's run its course. It's run its course, and the reason why it was even inserted into your life was so that you could learn quite a lot of valuable lessons. What those lessons are, again, I don't know. So very top level, and I'm being blocked from further understanding what the original motivations were for this event. But with this Knight of Wands and the Judgment, it's kind of like you're being sent a lot of messages to terminate this agreement. So if you don't catch the hint the first time around, the second time around is made a bit more obvious. The third time around, you're getting all sorts of cues from the environment that suggest things are coming to a head with this particular situation, and it just needs to end now so that you can evolve and move on. Because this may have not, this might not work out for you in the long run, where you'll start to feel stifled. You'll feel like you've lost your direction. You'll feel like you've lost yourself if you continue on with this person or company or whatever it is, or project. On the other hand, the High Priestess and the Chariot card are really pushing for personal expression to come through your own creative pursuits, probably linked to, not linked to anything really, but your own creative pursuits. Yeah, well, linked to the fruit here. This is a complete shift from that stagnant Ten of Swords. This is really knowing what you want and going for it, which kind of goes against what I said when I first came to this reading, which is going for what you want, really headstrong, but blindly. The blind parts being that you can't forecast how well you're going to actually do. But regardless of that, you just know that this is what must happen. It is your life goal. It is just a feeling that you cannot deny. That feeling is that High Priestess here, really nagging and pushing at your instincts to kind of tell you, to teach you, to discern what makes you excited, what makes you want to be a leader, the leader of your own life, and what is imposed on you, taught, what's been brought down from generations of your family as well. So there is a difference between the direction your family wants you to head in and the direction that you want to head in. With this, you really come to a strong realization, and it's very empowering. So growing into your own power that has not been manipulated by anyone else's expectations of what you should do with your life. So it's really no surprise then that with revelations and epiphanies, there's always this surprising element, and that's really what the Tower is. It is always a surprise that catches you off guard. So it's kind of like an epiphany. It's a good thing with the Tower, but it can be, again, in relation to, because there has to be multiple storylines here. So this could have something to do with a three-way relationship of sorts, where one person is sacrificed. So two people simplify everything by deciding to opt out. This can be like a housemate arrangement, which is a bit strange. So you could be sharing a house, 3 of you in total, and now you've disassembled, or you've decided you're going to disassemble. Things may have gotten tense and complicated, maybe even a little bit romantic. There's heartache here. There's some sort of heartbreak that's involved with this, but there is also clarity. this clarity must be good, you know. The Ace of Swords is generally a very positive card as well. It's saying that good things always come from wielding this sword, because this is the kind of sword that helps you download knowledge and insights. That insight often leads to simplifying things. So when you have way too many details running around in your mind, and it's just very difficult to say which details you ought to pay the most attention to versus what you could do without, because again, it's making your decision, like it's making it harder for you to come to a decision or make a choice. That Ace of Swords comes and helps you out a little bit. It says, okay, you can cut out this part of your analysis, because it's just going to give you more of a headache than it is going to help you to solve this. And ergo, that revelation may have something to do with two people coming together and saying, okay, this is just not, like, let's agree to disagree, or let's just agree to amicably terminate or move on. So there might not be complete satisfaction on both sides, but the conclusion is amicable and acceptable for the both of you. And you leave behind a situation, but you also leave behind this third person. Since really drawn to this here. Third window. So maybe two people decide not to fight over this person anymore. Just, yeah, part ways. Really interesting reading, Aries. You can let me know what you thought of it. I hope you liked it. If you did, please do like the video and subscribe to my channel if it's something you fancy doing. It will also help me out, of course. I really appreciate you guys being here month after month. I'm glad that I'm still able to actually deliver these readings. I am sorry that they are always late, or not always, but sometimes. But I still enjoy bringing these readings to you. So again, thank you, Aries. Love you guys, and speak to you next month. Take care.